Alright, look. The MCU has been kinda mid lately, let's be honest. But then Thunderbolts dropped, and this one actually surprised me. This isn't your usual Marvel team-up, save-the-day, cue-the-jokes type of movie. Nah, this one's messy, in a good way. You've got Yelena, Bucky, Red Guardian, Ghost, Taskmaster, US Agent. All the MCU's damaged goods, shoved into one team like some dark government-sponsored Avengers. And they're not even trying to hide that this is a straight-up suicide mission. So I sat there thinking, all right, Marvel, what are we doing here? But then it clicked. This isn't about being a hero. It's about broken people trying to do something right, or at least not screw it all up again. I'm gonna break down what worked, what didn't, and why this might actually be one of the more honest movies Marvel's put out in a while. And yeah, I'll say it. This gave me something that most of the recent MCU stuff hasn't. Characters I actually care about. Let's get into it. Right off the bat, if you can't already tell, I love this movie. Stop watching this if you haven't seen it yet and don't want spoilers, because I'm diving straight in. No second video. No spoiler-free buffer. Just right into the deep end. This is what the Suicide Squad wanted to be. A ragtag crew of anti-heroes, some of them barely likable, others deeply broken. Brought together, not just for a mission, but to deal with their trauma. And by the end, they're friends. Real friends. I'm telling you, this felt like Avengers 2012 level energy. Like watching Tony Stark wrestle with the weight of his legacy. Like watching Cap prove he's more than just a soldier. That's the magic Thunderbolts managed to recapture. What made it work? For one, it felt like a movie made by people, not by boardrooms or spreadsheets. Jake Schreier, man, if you saw Beef, you know the guy's legit. And he cooked here. He cooked hard. The cast? Chemistry off the charts. For the first time in forever, I laughed at a Marvel movie and didn't instantly regret it. The jokes landed. Real laughs, not groans. Well, most of them. One character, I won't lie, had me rolling my eyes hard. Valentina's assistant, Mel? Gen Z cringe generator. Her lines felt like they were scraped from the worst parts of Twitter. Like there was this one line. Valentina says, "Tie up the loose ends." And Mel goes, "Well, we did. But now the rope is on fire." I nearly booed out loud. But aside from her, the rest of the cast crushed it. Florence Pugh? She owns the screen. She's the Black Widow now. Can we just let her say it out loud already? It's wild we're this deep into the multiverse saga and only now getting characters this compelling. And then, the twist. At the end, they're not the Thunderbolts anymore. They're the new Avengers. I said "no way" out loud in the theater. Thought it was a joke. But then, it started to make sense. I could get behind that. Plot-wise, it all revolves around Valentina, who's been recruiting these damaged ex-heroes and offering them a clean slate in exchange for dirty work. She's in trouble, impeachment-level trouble, and she needs to erase all evidence of her past. So she sends everyone on a mission. But really, she's trying to wipe them out. One by one. Our focal point? Yelena, Florence's character. She starts this movie done. Just emotionally checked out. The opening scene has her literally stepping off a rooftop, not dramatically, but just numb. And you know right away this movie is different. Everyone's dealing with something. John Walker? Family disowned him. We even get a flashback of him being a jerk to his wife and kid. But Valentina's game gets exposed too late for one of them. Olga Kurilenko's Taskmaster dies. Straight up, gets domed. And yeah, it hurt. Why even bring Taskmaster back just to do that? But I also kinda get it. Black Widow butchered that character. The twist was weak, the payoff was weaker. It was a bad look. Killing her here was Marvel's way of saying, we're doing something different. Still hurt, though. One of the most cracked characters from the comics. Wasted. But moving on, let's talk about Bob. Robert Reynolds, Sentry, played by Lewis Pullman. Dude stole the show. Him and Florence? On another level. I didn't think you could make Sentry work, but they nailed it. Sentry isn't just Superman with issues. He's a broken soul. And this movie leans all the way into that. Depression, trauma, addiction, it's all there. We find out Valentina's been trying to make her own superweapon, her Homelander, and Bob was the lone survivor of a super soldier program gone wrong. Everyone else died. Bob didn't. And thank God, because he's incredible. He's like a wounded animal. And he has this ability. When he touches someone, he sees their worst memory and pulls them into it. There's a moment with John Walker where we see him relive the worst fight of his marriage. It hits hard, and it doesn't stop there. Florence gets pulled into her first Red Room mission, leading a friend to her death. It's brutal. But it's not just sad for sad's sake. It's earned. This movie shows trauma like no Marvel project before. And Yelena and her dad, Red Guardian, that dynamic shattered me. She's like, where have you been? I lost my sister, then I lost you. And he just says, I'm late, but I'm here now. That moment alone deserves awards. David Harbour kills it. You can see the shame in him. He's broken too. You want action? Bucky brings it. Dude was cracked. That desert chase scene? Trailer did not do it justice. Felt like Darth Vader just showed up. And guess what? They shot on sets, real streets, not a damn green screen in sight. Even Ghost, I can't believe I'm saying this, she got redeemed. After Ant-Man 2, I thought she was done. But here, she was funny, badass, and emotional. They took a nothing character and made her someone. U.S. agent, too. He delivered the super soldier action I've been missing since Steve Rogers dipped. He was brutal. Then there's the Void. Bob's darker half, his trauma, his shadow self, literally fights him. He's terrifying. Just a silhouette with glowing eyes, and somehow it's scarier than any giant CGI monster. Lewis Pullman plays 3 roles in one. Bob, the Sentry, and the Void. And each one feels different. And when we see his childhood, abuse, neglect, his mom turning on him, it explains everything. He believes he's the problem. He always ruins things. And when he starts turning into the Void fully, the Thunderbolts rally around him. They don't fight him. They hold him. They help him beat the thing inside him. It's not subtle, but damn if it didn't hit. Florence walks into his shadow wave, knowing it'll trap her in her worst trauma just to reach him. Because that's what this movie is about. Not just saving people, saving each other. Even Red Guardian gets a moment. Saves a little girl who turns into a shadow. My jaw hit the floor. Jump scare level moment. 1 second it's sweet, next second it's horrifying. And the climax, Bob versus the Void. The Thunderbolts holding him back. It's not just a physical fight, it's emotional. They literally help carry the burden. Like real heroes. Before this I was like, how are they going to beat the Sentry? These guys are nobodies. But they did it. They did it in a way that meant something. And I can't stop thinking about it. Marvel, this is what we want. They did something real. Something human. They showed that the only way to defeat that kind of power wasn't through more fists or lasers. It was through connection, through care, through presence. That scene, man. When they all reached for Bob, pulling him back from the edge, from the literal manifestation of his trauma. God, it hit so hard. That's what made them Avengers. Not the name, not a logo, not a helicarrier. That moment. And can we talk about the actual void sequence? Like visually, that whole part was just off the charts. I don't even know how they did some of that. It was surreal, like watching a dream and a nightmare collide in IMAX. There's this part where Bucky, John Walker, and Ghost are literally running on this crumbling street that's being eaten away into darkness, and they're reaching for Bob, who's just floating there, eyes glowing, body pulsing like he's barely human anymore. It felt biblical. And the score? Don't even get me started. That string swell when Bob finally breaks through and says, "I don't want to be alone anymore." Bro, I had a lump in my throat. Like we said earlier, Lewis Pullman cooked. He was acting with his soul. You felt everything. Every ounce of fear, rage, loneliness, shame. And Florence Pugh, standing across from him, just broken and brave, whispering, "Then don't be." That's it. That was the heart of the film. And I need to mention, because I still can't believe I'm saying this, Bucky Barnes is back. Like, actually back. Not phoning it in, not standing around quipping, but leading, owning his scars and doing something with them. And his final speech, where he looks around at the team and says, "We don't need to be what they made us." Man, chills. That was Steve Rogers level writing. It was the kind of line that earns a silence in the theater. No one clapped, no one cheered. Just that deep, collective breath of, we're seeing something real here. And if I'm being honest, yeah, Taskmaster dying still pisses me off. It pisses me off because there was so much potential there. But weirdly, they made it work. They made it count. Because her death wasn't brushed off, it meant something. It was the turning point. It was the wake-up call that this mission wasn't about redemption or glory. It was about survival, about betrayal. And it was the moment that let the rest of them wake up and realize they were being played. I mean, the silence in the theater after that dome shot. You could feel it. It wasn't just shock, it was grief, disbelief. And, yeah, maybe a little anger. Like, why did you even bring her back just to do her like that? But that's the point, isn't it? Valentina didn't care. The government didn't care. And that is the system they're all fighting. That's the system that turned all of them into weapons. Ghost, John, Bob, Yelena, Bucky, me. And look, some people are going to say we're exaggerating, that it's just a superhero movie. But no, this was storytelling. This was catharsis. It was emotional honesty wrapped in costumes and chaos. And I haven't gotten that from the MCU in a long time. So yeah, Thunderbolts was a W. More than that, it reminded me why I ever cared about these stories in the first place. If this is the future of Marvel, count me back in. Orphan out.